start with number one. We know what this says. I'm going to let them deal with whatever we don't repeat, frankly. But we know what it says. Now, here's the issue that, as I understand it, which is that neither side, frankly, disputes that it was approved for use, that the board approved it. That's not in dispute. What's in dispute is whether it should have been bid on first.
Right.
And I had a chance to glance at your written response here that you provided, but just because it's been approved for use all over by the Oklahoma State Department of Education, and even though research shows it works, because it shows here in the investigation that there are competitors, what made you think that you didn't have to bid for a similar program, even if it wasn't, by name the same program?
Okay. Well, let me explain this. The federal government has endorsed DIBELS. DIBELS is a particular reading program that the federal government has felt works well with students that cannot read, don't read at grade level. It helps really diagnose the problems. It's an intervention. That's DIBELS. It is across the nation. Most reading first schools, I think, are mandated to use it. But it's a paper and pencil test, and it's very laborious for teachers to go through the process of having a timer, trying to mark the score, read to the student at the same time, and then try to calculate their scores. And there's a lot of times there's been problems with them being accurate because of so much human intervention in trying to do the assessments. So in the state of Oklahoma, as many other states have, they have elected to not only they have to use that same assessment, but they've elected to try to get it in an automated form so the teachers can go through the assessments very rapidly. And the only company in the nation that they have exclusive rights for the use of DIBELS, which again is mandated for reading first schools at a minimum by the federal government. Reading first schools across the nation.
How many are there in Oklahoma City?
I think we have between 7 and 10 in Oklahoma City. So we already had it in our schools. And the state had their central services approve this as being warranted as a sole source product, a product that did not have to be competed by others because no one else can provide that product.
And that came from who determines that?
I'm sorry?
Who determined that it was a sole source product?
I think it's called Central Services for the state of Oklahoma. Has approved this as a product that could be sole source purchased.
Is that a division of the State Department?
Yes, it must be. Yes, it must be their contractor.
Central Services purchases for everybody. Purchases for every department.
Every department
including the State Department of Education.
Right.
So, okay, so it's an all agency.
Correct.
Right.
It's the
so
only
once
place you can buy something in Oklahoma.
Got it.
Okay, so once they said it was okay to purchase, the state has delivered that to all their reading first schools across the whole state. Now, what I did was, when I came to the district, one of my regional directors, and I think maybe it was two, but at least one of them had put together a proposal that was delivered to the interim superintendent to try to have expanded to her learning community. And one thing I've said from the very beginning is that I want one school district, one system, not multiple school districts. And so I felt if it was good enough for some of our students, it was good enough for all of our students. And so that was kind of the premise of saying that this is a product that not only the people have used, that I've got research. One of the areas that I was responsible for was doing research and around data analysis about products that really impact the student performance.
I'm going to stop you real quick.
Yes.
Because I'm very much in a time crunch, and
Yes.
I want to make sure I direct the
well, let me tell you something about that then.
allegations directly, but basically the reason you didn't is because the central service for the state has determined it's a sole source product.
Right, and then our own policy said if you have a sole source product that is unique, then you can purchase that without going to bid. And these other competitors they mentioned, they have reading programs, but they don't have the one, as to me, being the instructional leader of that district, I decided was the best product for the district. And that was DIBELS. And there are others who believe with me that for early childhood, that's the best product.
So the others are not the same program?
They're not the same program, no. They are programs that address reading generically in other areas, but not DIBELS.